name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to not the video I had intended on filming at this point. Usually in late November, I come out with a recommendations video for in December, giving out a ton of recommendations for literally every board on the bingo board, but it looks like in December might not be happening this year. Question mark. It's all up in the air, but it is November 29th as I film this, and we have not heard a single thing. There's been no announcement, and Megan Tennant still appears to be on hiatus. It is possible that it'll begin like early to mid-December, but I have all of this pent-up energy saved for a December readathon, so I'm like, okay, if that's not happening, I need a different one. And that's where the Reindeer Readathon comes in. This was created by Eric from Break Even Books. It's been going on for several years now. I have seen it before, but again, most of my December readathon energy was focused on indie books, and I will still be carrying the spirit of in December through this. I am reading all indie books. That's not really strange for me, but all of the indie books will be getting some level of review. Obviously, the books that I was not sent for review are not going to get the full 5 to 7 paragraphs written and in their own video, but they'll get at least a little bit of something maybe on like Amazon and maybe a review as well as the usual Goodreads rating. Also, this TBR is actually made up of a different TBR that I had also planned for December because I want to do a reading vlog, reading holiday erotica. I don't know why, but I have seen so many specifically holiday erotica stories that I just had to. I love weird holiday books. Like we all know, like the Hallmarky romances, like no. I want to go weirder than that. And I think I've managed it. Now, all of the prompts for Reindeer Readathon are based off of Santa's reindeer, obviously. And I really like the way the prompts are set up because on top of the regular read a book with X in it, there's also another level of bonus prompts that have to be layered over. They are not just extra books you read. You have to incorporate those prompts on top of the other prompts. So as I go through, I will be saying not only what main prompt the book is for, but also what extra prompt. And also, we will get to bring out the D&D dice for one of them. And I'm super excited about it. So let's jump right in. The first prompt is based on Dasher. Read a short story collection or novella. For this one, I picked 12 Naughty Days. This is part of my holiday erotica TBR, and it is basically what it says on the tin. It is 12 different short stories based on the 12 days of Christmas. I'm really intrigued to see how this one plays out. I feel like some of them can make a decent amount of sense, and you can make into an erotic short story, with others, like, where's the pear tree gonna come in? I'm very intrigued and very interested, and of course, because it's a short story collection, it should be pretty quick. Up next is Dancer, one of your favorite authors. And this one, Warlord Arcanist by Shami Stovall. This is the 6th in the Frith Chronicles, one of the oldest series I've been reviewing on my channel. And this one is also going to apply to the prompt Christmas Star to read a book over 500 pages. This one is a chonker, but then again, pretty much every book in this series after book 2 has been a chonker. I don't think any book from 3 to 6 now has been under 500 pages. And I'm really nervous about this one. Obviously, I can't say too much about what it's about because it's the 6th in the series and there's been some gigantic plot twists moving forward. But I am worried because I gave book 5, the book right before this, comparatively low rating compared to everyone else. It had been like universal 5 stars up until that book, and I had a lot of criticisms for it. So I'm really nervous going into this one, but obviously, like, it's still one of my favorite series. So even my least favorite book in this series is still pretty good. It's a lot of pages. So many pages, and I am prepared for Shami to hurt me again. Up next is Prancer, a book with a travel element, a quest or something that involves going long distances. And for this one, I am picking A Very Berry Christmas Cruise by Ellie Pond. I know nothing about this other than that it is a shifter romance set on a ship. We've got 2 protagonists that have your usual angsty, he can never be in love because but most importantly, it's on a cruise ship, a Christmas cruise ship. Yeah. I don't really need to know more than that, I think. I think that's good. I think we got it. All right. Up next, Vixen, a book that's recently caught your eye. However, this one is not necessarily a book that has recently caught my eye in its original form. I've had it in my Kindle library for quite some time, and I constantly tell myself I'm going to read it. But the audiobook just came out, and that is Gay Love and Other Fairy Tales by Dylan James. This is an author that I have read a little bit before. He has both his erotic pen name and his YA pen name. This is the YA stuff, and from what I've seen, it's fairly clean, innocent, cutesy, which will be a great palate cleanser for all of the erotica I'm going to be reading this month. But the thing is that I'm doing it specifically in audiobook format because it's also going to apply for Christmas carols, the bonus prompt, listen to an audiobook. And if you've been around my channel, you know that I struggle with audiobooks because how am I supposed to find hours of uninterrupted brain time to focus on that? Because it is very hard to get my brain to focus on things. And I'm going to end up doing like a lot of housework or something just to give my hands things to do so that I can listen to this. But basically, this book is all about a young boy, well, teenage boy, that comes out of the closet and actually does manage to find a lot of acceptance, and it's great. But then he gets into a relationship with another guy at his school who is not. And it is that very classic queer story of how are you going to make this work when one is out of the closet and one is not. Admittedly, I am slightly worried about how this could end. In a lot of cases, these stories tend to have the lesson of you should always come out for your partner, which if you're genuinely not in a safe space to do that, like having a great partner isn't going to stop the danger around you. But I really did like Dylan James' other work, both in erotica and short stories, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm hoping that because this is more contemporary and lighthearted, it'll be easier for me to focus on the audiobook. Fingers crossed. Up next is Comet, a 5-star prediction. And for this one, I have picked Wildfire Phoenix by Zoe Chant. This is probably one of my most hyped books of the year. The Wildfire series by Zoe Chant has a very strange sentimental value to me. Because this is the Indie Shifter series that I began reading when I became a foster parent, and it's the series that I used to get a brain break from all the stress of being a foster parent in a pandemic. So this one, I might have overhyped this one a little bit, but this continues the story of a group of hotshot wildfire firefighters. Those are the firefighters that go into the wildfires to fight them, finding their mates. They're all shifters and they're firefighters. Yes, it's Kitty. Yes, I love it to death. This is honestly my favorite series of anything the author has done, and I have read some of her other Indie Shifter books, and I will actually be reading another one of her Indie Shifter books this month because they're just everywhere, and I love Indie Shifter romances. Up next is Cupid, a new author and another one from my holiday erotica. But this one is not Christmas erotica. This one is His for Hanukkah by Reese Morrison. The author is queer, I believe, some form of gender nonconforming. I don't remember if it is genderqueer or non-binary, but they are actually writing an entire erotica series based on Jewish holidays. So Hanukkah is the first one, but there are others, and I just really wanted to, mix it up. I would honestly have added like winter solstice or Yule to my holiday erotica TBR, but if you try to search up Yule, you just get a lot of euphemisms for Yule logs. So this one is also all about a young couple in which one of them, I believe, is trans, coming together in a BDSM club, and it's fairly standard romance, but I like the fact that A, we have a trans character, and B, it's themed around a non-Christmas winter holiday. I need more of those. Not that I don't love the Christmas romances, but like, could I get like, I don't know, more New Year's Eve erotica or something? Something. Up next is Donner, a book that has primarily green or red on the cover. And this one I picked A Mate for the Christmas Dragon by Zoe Chant. As you can see, she did come back. Do I know anything about this book? No. I know it involves a dragon shifter. I know it involves a romance. I honestly, at this point, don't really need to know that much about indie shifter romances. They're one of my favorite subgenres of romance. And this one somehow involves Christmas. I honestly don't know. Thankfully, this is also on my holiday erotica TBR because I know Zoe Chan includes sex scenes in her book, so I will probably talk about it a lot more there, because at this point, the only thing I cared about was Christmas erotica, and I could fit it into the readathon. I am apparently not that picky this month. All right. The next one, Blitzen, you have to randomly pick among 3 books. So you have to pick 3 separate books and then find some way to pick among them, putting treats on it and letting your pet eat them, or doing picking out of a jar or something. However, I recently, well, technically not that recently, January of 2021, began playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if you know anything about that TTRPG, it comes with a lot of dice. So, how we are going to do this is I have assigned each of my 3 books a number 1 to 12, and I will go through them real quick, but we are going to use my lovely dice tower that my husband got me and our dice to figure out what book we are going to pick with that. And I'm not going to lie, there is one specific book that I am hoping it picks, but if not, there might be a way for me to sneak it onto this TBR anyway. So first up, we have Ancients by Catherine Moon. This is the 4th book in a polyamorous paranormal romance series, all about 4 witches in a polyamorous coven. And again, it's the 4th in the series, so a lot has happened, but I can't get that much into it. Up next is Rising by Celeste Hart. This is the sequel to the Afro-futuristic sci-fi arranged marriage story that I've reviewed previously, and it's been on my review list for so long, so I really got to get around to that. And the 3rd one is Pinhole by Matthew Cagle, another author that I have reviewed before, whose review book has been sitting on my list for far too long, but this is all about various time travelers getting into shenanigans / big dramatic things. So, Ancients is numbers 1 through 4, Rising is numbers 5 through 8, and Pinhole is numbers 9 through 12, and I'm just now realizing that all 3 of these books have a single word title. That was not on purpose, but let's figure out which one it'll be. All right, let's see here. And that is 8. The Dice Gods have spoken, and my next read for Blitzen will be Rising by Celeste Hart. This is one that, again, I really should have gotten to sooner, but you know what? I've actually been killing it with my review books lately, and getting another one off the list, not a bad thing. Now, one of the other bonus prompts for this quick note is Christmas Lights to read an ebook. That's like a non-prompt for me, because almost all of these books are in ebook form, so that's not a thing, but I just thought that I'd add that on there. That is one of the prompts. The last prompt is Rudolph, which is a standalone book, which actually was a harder get for me than I was expecting. I read a lot of series, apparently. I think almost every other book in this is supposed to be part of a series. But that is, and I need you to pay attention to this title, Santa Claus is Going to Town on Me by M.L. Eliza. Yes, I just said that sentence aloud. And this was the book that inspired the holiday erotica reading vlog, because it is exactly what it says on the tin. A young woman who is feeling lonely on Christmas Eve goes downstairs to find a man is in her living room putting presents under the tree, and things happen. And I saw that on Twitter and I was like, well, obviously I'm going to grab that one, and obviously I'm going to do a reading vlog for it, like, duh. Now, also, on top of all of those other prompts, there is also the Slaying It prompt, which is if you have done literally everything else, you then can redo one of the prompt for an extra 50 points. And I know I have not been going through the points. Honestly, I plan on doing everything, so it's like I'm not going to pick and choose by points. I usually read this many books in a month anyway, and some of these are really short, but hopefully, if I can make it work and I get all that done, I will then add on Ancients by Catherine Moon back into my TBR for the book with a travel element, as one of the coven does go off somewhere. So hopefully I can get that one in, because I have been adoring that series this year, and I would love to get it finished because I so rarely finish series on my channel. So that is it, my Reindeer Readathon TBR. I am not going to be doing any reading vlogs for the Reindeer Readathon as a whole. Obviously, I'm going to be doing the Holiday Erotica reading vlog, and Warlord, Arcanist, and Rising are both going to get standalone review videos, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested. I'm also really excited to be part of a team readathon. Those are my absolute favorites, especially because I am on team stocking with Savvy from Savvy Writes Books, who I've been online mutuals with for a really long time, and we're both really excited that we're on the same team. It's going to be so much fun. But I am going to end 2021 on a positive note if it kills me. This year has not been great at all, November particularly. So I am going to trudge forward and have the happiest holiday time. If I have to make it happen, I will. I need the serotonin. But on that heavy note, with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.